Hey, Chris here. I think we can all agree that the health and fitness industry is an unscrupulous ocean of myths and misconceptions by contradictory cowboys. An intellect once said that it's possible to only connect the dots going back. Now, because of my mistakes and accidentally testing everything in health and fitness, where I thought I was being healthy, when in fact I was actually being pretty self-destructive many years ago. So, because of all that and these mistakes, I'm giving you the opportunity to connect the dots going forward. I'm going to share with you some dots. Now, within Powered by Lifting, we've got 5 levels for 5 levels of learning for anybody with any knowledge within health and fitness. Now, I have 5 dots here and our version of a yin yang, which is actually the epicenter. So we have 2 words, food and exercise. Now these 2 words make up parts of the 5 dots. Within the 5 dots, we have 5 very important words. Number 1 being power. So what do I mean by power? I mean the ability to harness your energy, and motivation, to make change towards being a healthier and fitter person in the first place. So that's probably got a good starting point. And because of the correct amount of food and exercise, it enables a better level of stamina. I don't mean stamina as in running a long race. I mean stamina of life, motivation, energy, and having stamina to do everything that you need to do on a daily basis. And of course, feel good. I mean, when you get your food correct, basically the overall feel good factors of life are going to be enhanced. So because of the first word being power, we then move to equilibrium. And then we join the dots to move to the second most important word within the Empowered by Lifting lifestyle, in equilibrium. So what do I mean by equilibrium? Okay, so it means balance. It means balance of moods. So do you know when you have sometimes a really bad mood and a really good mood? Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're depressed, and other times you're really, really happy. What if I told you that food dictated mood in most people's lives? Obviously there's a lot of other factors what create good and bad moods, but food is one of the major dictators in people's mood. And I say to many people and many clients, food dictates mood. So basically it's one of the most important starting points to dictate having a good mood, which we all want to have a good mood, hey? Next thing is equilibrium or balance of hormones. So let's go back to the beginning of the conversation where we talked about food and exercise being important. So we've gone for power, now we're going for equilibrium, and we've got food dictates a good hormonal balance. So obviously we go into details with that later on, but if you just bear in mind that food dictates your hormones as well, now we're talking really detailed stuff. So we're talking about the equilibrium or balance of willpower. So willpower, I describe it as being like a muscle where you need to give it rest and then you need to push sometimes and not push other times. And that goes with learning, with training, with eating certain foods, with dieting, with not dieting. It's very important to manage your willpower and find the balance. And obviously we spoke about energy here, but energy levels comes up here as well, because you need to manage your energy levels and your sleep levels and all things around this. And of course, your balance of stress. And that's probably one of the most important things to make sure you're managing your stress. And that's what we teach within probably about level 3 or 4, I think we talk about this, especially level 5 where we do personal development. So now we're going to move on to body. Now you thought by the name Empowered by Lifting we were all just about lifting weights, eh? Well, we're not. There's a hell of a lot more to what we do. So body being a little bit later on, after you've got all this other stuff pretty good. So we join the dots again. Now I have body. So you immediately would think about body image, but before that we look at health first and longevity. And obviously that's important to everybody, is how to live longer, healthier and better. So that's basically what we teach throughout the levels. And of course sickness, and making sure that because you're healthy and you have your food and exercise right, that of course you're going to be sick less. I mean, look at recently I've had an operation, most of you know, on my ankle. Of time of recording was 4 days ago. The day after the operation, I'm completely fine, walking around. I was on crutches, of course, but I felt great. Some people after an operation will feel terrible for days. Personally, I'm pretty much never sick. Like, you were looking at about 5 years now to this date where I've not really had a cold or been ill or anything like that. So it's quite relevant to make sure that your food and your exercise is right, to make sure you're not sick. So if you're not sick with the minor things like a cold or a flu, think about what that's doing for the stuff we don't know about, like cancers and serious illnesses later on in life, and making sure that you're more healthier later on in life. Because I personally want to be as healthy and the best version of me for my whole life. So that's basically why we've put this together in such a way, and now I'm trying to give it to everybody else, if you can understand what I'm trying to do. So with body, of course, body image, and you've seen with some of our people that are following already following the lifestyle, or on the £1 Million page, that basically we have a lot of people who are making radical changes to their body image and they're looking awesome, but at the same time they've gone through the other aspects. So after body, we're going to move to the second to last dot, which is cerebral. So we join the dots again. So now we're on to the fourth dot, which is cerebral. And on this dot, we talk about cognitive performance. So because we're going back to the epicenter, because you have your food right, cognitive performance is better, your learning abilities are better, overall concentration, and people with ADHD or ADD find that when they get the food balanced, and this happens with a lot of clients, when they get the food balanced and then they're exercising efficiently, the ADHD goes dramatically lower. That's also me, by the way. So, mental clarity, concentration, a lot of things around cerebral. So, from cerebral, you've now got power, equilibrium, body, cerebral. We move on to the last dot, which is contentment. And some say it's impossible to get to the contentment level unless you've worked your way through the other dots. So what does contentment mean? We're talking about happiness. We're talking about success in life. We're talking about personal passions, and we teach that within level 5, is how to find your passion. Because it's been said that if you're doing something that you hate at any part of your life, you're not living through your passions and you're not using your strength. And I'm a firm believer that you should be living through your passions. And that's what I do on a daily basis, is I live through my passions, which means I'm always happy, I'm very successful. So understanding your passions, if you go back through the dots, where we haven't joined this one up yet, if we go back through and you understand that your food and your exercise has helped you learn better, concentrate better, you've become more successful and passionate, your body and health is better and you're never sick. So again, adding that to become more happy, energy, motivation, your stamina, you feel good, your hormones are balanced, your moods are better, you're managing your willpower, you're managing your stress. So bringing it all together helps you overall be successful in life, and that's what we all want. And of course, purpose. It's been said by some great intellects that the ultimate key to happiness is progression towards your passions. So if you've gone through everything and you've mastered all of it, and you're progressing towards your purpose and your passion, is when you're ultimately happy. So basically, bringing all that together, just write progression there. Bringing all that together, self-actualize is probably the last point. And of course, because you've brought it all together, you become ultimately empowered. So now you know why the company, or Empowered by Lifting, has been brought together in a way to help you understand all of this. Now if I just join the last dot, you can see quite clearly that we have a star with 5 points, with the epicenter being food and exercise. And this is what we teach through the 5 levels of the Empowered by Lifting lifestyle. So a question for you is, what shines brighter than a star? Some people within the Empowered by Lifting Inner Circle members have said that this is like the North Star or the guiding star. And in fact, before they came on board and were in part of the Empowered by Lifting Inner Circle, that they were kind of in the dark and looking at the sky full of stars. And if you can imagine that all of the stars is all of the myths and masses of misconceptions within the fitness industry. And by looking at our star, which is like the guiding star or the North Star, which shine bright for them, has enabled them to see the light. And that's what some people talk about within the Empowered by Lifting Inner Circle. So what are you doing today to master parts of the Empowered by Lifting star? Please comment on the bottom and let us know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this and you've understood a lot more about what we do with our clients, the books that has been written about Empowered by Lifting, and everything else you can get involved in. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for listening.